Are there solutions that you see out there for this rampant sort of gilded age that we're living in terms of addressing economic inequality that you find to be promising at all?
There are no silver bullets to solve the inequality problem. I think the most important thing is to discuss it and to focus in serious ways on pathways that give people an opportunity to reinvent themselves no matter what has happened earlier in their life. And couple that with a commitment from firms and companies and people that are in the human resources world to get beyond out of their anachronistic views of the people they're trying and hire. There's a friend of mine, Jim McKelvey, who is a co-founder with Jack Dorsey of a company called Square. And he's doing a company now called Launch Code in St. Louis, where he's taking people of all ages, young to old, people who think they've learned coding or whatever, said everybody can be a coder. We need more coders. But the people he's working with, he was working with this guy who's a narcoleptic, who has problems. He's a great coder, but people who have just a hard time penetrating the job scene in companies. And he's using his wealth and his personal status as an innovator to embarrass the human resources departments of large firms and to say, you need to give people another chance. So we need more connectors like that, more mentors and people so that we just don't accept inequality. I mean, there's a social contract where there's a responsibility that if people who don't have a lot of resources can get themselves organized or have the opportunity, the worst thing is that they do that and they're still left outside the door. So there's that element that I think is a key part of it. But the other part of it broadly in a systemic way is that the very wealthy have succeeded in stacking the deck so that their wealth is largely protected and can largely grow in ways that those that are not can't. You have a lot of new immigrants that have come into the country, and they're not easily woven into the financial world. And so they're preyed upon by people who move their money around, who make loans. You have the very poor in our society charge the most outrageous interest rates. I was reading a case in the New York Times the other day where a young family working really hard, multiple jobs, bought a couch for $1,500. They end up paying $4,000 for it over the life of the loan. I mean, these are sharks preying upon those with the fewest resources. That's beyond the whole issue of tax rates and everything. We have a society where we allow, without any comment, without any penalty, just a complete ravaging of those without the resources they should have. I was talking to David Petraeus and his wife, Holly, despite all of his scandals and stuff. He has a lot of worries about American servicemen and women coming back who themselves don't have a lot of money or resources and who find themselves in financially strapped situations and conditions. And so they've got loan sharks going after them, and we've done very little to protect them. So broadly, it's a systemic problem in the society. So as the very wealthy continue to kind of live these wonderful lives, and that seems unabated. We talk a lot about wanting to either train the poor, get those in jobs that are probably not in high demand retrained, but there's all these barriers to that, even if they were to do it, and we fault them. It's almost like a moral failing of these people, and I find that ridiculous and offensive. And so if we want to change it, we need to look holistically about the systemic level, but we also have to basically begin rewarding dramatically those people who are getting retrained, who are going out there and embarrass, like Jim McKelvey is, the Human Resources Department, so these people get another opportunity. Our incarceration rates of young black men, absolutely outrageous. Once they get on that track, no matter how they got there, at rates dramatically higher than young white kids, they have a hard time getting a job. So it becomes a self-replicating spiral downward. And I find it outrageous. We should be having it's a national crisis.